Hello, and thanks for watching another Glenn Maney Talks Chelsea. And what we're going to be talking about today is today's game, which ended up Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Chelsea 0. It was in the fog, and there were times in that first half we played like we were playing in the fog. We really did. We couldn't see each other. It was as bad a first half that I've seen us play, I think, since Tommy Tuchel's been there. It reminded me of the last days of Frank. Remember that Leicester City game? That's what it reminded me of, that first half, as though we had never played with each other before. And yeah, it was quite a shocker. I suppose the only good thing I could say about the game really was that we improved a lot in the second half, and also we could have lost it if Dendoncker could finish after Alonso would just give him a free run, really. If Dendoncker could finish, it would have been game over. Pulisic had our only really decent chance of the game. Good save from their goalkeeper. Don't think Pulisic could have done much different. I always moan when they hit it too low and don't give it a bit of lift, because generally the keeper saves it with his foot. So Pulisic give it a bit of lift, and it was saved. It's just the way it's going for us at the moment, I think. We couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, as they say. The second half was a lot better. We had the tempo that we had lacked in the first half. That first half was woeful. We were playing the ball practically always sideways at a slow pace. To be fair, Wolves really did press us well, but I've seen us play past that press. There's been times when Liverpool and City and teams like that have pressed us and we've managed to play around it. Today it was very, very difficult, under a lot of pressure in that first half. Didn't seem to have any sort of game plan, which again is unusual for a Tuchel side. I suppose the turnaround in personnel doesn't help, and the fact that we've got 3 strikers missing doesn't help. But to be fair, we have had some of them strikers available in other games where we've struggled of late. So I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Is it that so many of our players are in contract negotiations? I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that some of them are carrying injuries. Pulisic, to me, looks like he's not fully fit. Ziyech, I don't know what to say about him. I thought he was pretty poor today. Loads of effort, so can't complain at the effort, but trying stuff that isn't really on, and giving the ball away too cheaply. Marcus Alonso, he got a ball across, I don't know if it was in the 90th minute or in injury time. That's the first time he'd really got a decent ball across. And as for defending, there was a minute in that first half where it looked like one of the silent comedies. He is to defending, decent going forward, yeah, but he's to defending what the McCanns are to babysitting. He is a shocker when it comes to defending. We do miss Chilwell. And again, sod's law, we've got rid of Emerson, and we could do with some sort of defensive nous on that left hand side. So second half, unbelievably, because Chalobah was injured, presumably, Saul got a run out, and I thought, oh my God. But credit where credit's due. Big improvement in his performance. One shocker that he gave the ball away and they were on the attack. Fortunately, I think it was Thiago Silva that rescued the situation. But other than that, Saul had a pretty decent game. He made a few decent tackles. He pressed. So yeah, nice to see. Even better though to see Kova and Nigolo back. Nagolo was my man in the match today, I'll be honest. I thought he was everywhere. A couple of times the ball didn't stick to him up the front there, and a lot of good work was wasted. But as I say, he got through so much work. And we were so poor, really, as a side today. Someone once said, I think it was Brian Clough, that if you give players an excuse, they'll take it. And maybe this COVID and trying to get the game called off was the excuse that they needed. I personally thought it should have been called off on Saturday, so you haven't got the fans travelling there, wasting their money, their time and their effort. And when you've got as many COVID cases as Chelsea have, I think the fact that we had, was it 4 on the bench, 5 tops on the bench and 2 were goalkeepers, how the Premier League can justify that is beyond me. And I do think that if we had our first 11 out, with maybe Havertz and Lukaku being able to play up top, we would have had a much better chance of beating Wolves. But you can only play with what you got. We had millions of pounds worth of footballer out on that pitch. I've come to the conclusion that we've got a lot of players that are too much alike. We haven't really got a creative player. I think Billy Gilmore could do that job, and Conor Gallagher could probably do it in a different way, but we haven't really got Cesc Fabregas to open teams up. I think Jorginho maybe has got the capability to do it, but he takes the negative option too often. So yeah, I'm a bit deflated today. I'm sorry if it's coming across as well, but that first half did me. I was pleased we put up much more of a fight in the second half. They obviously got a rollicking, but we shouldn't be putting performances in like that first half. So let's just get on and score I think this one's best filed under Foggy and filed away somewhere, and let's hope we're a lot better against Villa on I think it's Boxing Day, isn't it? It might be the day after. So yeah, Mendy gets a 7. Had very little to do. Distribution was decent. Come out a couple of times and kicked the ball away when it was looking as though they were on a dangerous attack. Reece James, to me, wasn't really himself, but he wasn't bad. I'm going to give Reece James a 6 just because of his high standards. Aspie gets a 6. Thiago Silva, I thought, was one of the bright points, and he gets an 8 from me. I thought he stood out in that defence. He is like a Rolls Royce, isn't he? 2 or 3 times he read the game so beautifully and stopped what could have been a dangerous situation. Rudiger gets a 7. Rudiger did okay. Trademark run. Tackles well. Good all-round defender. Marco Alonso for me gets a 5. Defending I'm not even going to comment on. Decent going forward, but cuts back too much for my liking instead of trying to get that final ball in. I don't know if he's realised how slow he is and doesn't even try to go past that last man anymore. But no, can't wait for Chilwell to be back, I'll be honest. And I support Marco Alonso, he's been a great servant, but no, he's not good enough at left back now for Chelsea. As I say, I'll be going at Christmas and singing his name, but realistically, defensively he's got too many deficiencies, in my humble opinion. You may disagree, and if you do, tell me. So midfield, we had Nagolo, who is my man of the match. He gets 8.5. He didn't set the world alight, but got through loads of work, and it was lovely to see him back. Chalobah, playing out of position. I much prefer him at centre back, but Tuchel said he didn't want to start Nagolo and Cover in the middle because of their lack of game time, I probably would have gone that way. I think we would have been a lot more cohesive, because Trevor done a good job, hard working, but lacks in creativity, and yeah, for me he's a bloody good centre half, decent midfielder, and Chalabar gets a 6 from me. So then we had Mason Mount, worked hard, tried to make things happen, cut down space as we expect from Mason. Mason gets a 7 from me. Ziyech gets a 5.5. Didn't bring much to the game. I just think he's in a really poor run of form. He's working harder than he ever has before, but his decision making seems off. So he gets a 5.5 from me. Pulisic still looks injured to me. We know from past experience. I see people on Twitter and that saying he's useless, this, that and the other. But we know he's not useless. But we should know from his history that it takes him 6 or 7 games before he starts getting any sort of form back. And unfortunately, that 6 or 7 games has come at a time when we've got our forwards out. So we can't carry Pulisic, we can't gradually get him back into the sort of form that we know he can produce. He's an excellent footballer. And he looks a pale shadow of himself, I'll be honest. I was expecting that, but I wasn't expecting Werner, Lukaku and Havertz to be missing all at the same time. You know, if we've got those in there, you can ease someone back in, giving them a few minutes here and a few minutes there. Pretty much like Tuchel's trying to do with Lukaku. So yes, and Saul, I don't often score the substitutes, but you know what? I'm going to give Saul a 6.5 because I thought that was his best game in a Chelsea shirt. Didn't pull up any trees, but apart from once where he lost the ball, did an acrobatic roll and then got straight up when he realised that he wasn't getting anything from the ref and that he'd left us wide open. Apart from that, his pressing was good, his passing was pretty decent, and he put a couple of really tasty tackles in. So I'll give him a score. And that's it really, folks. I'm sorry, I'm just so down about that. It's not even the points, because I didn't really expect to win the league this year. I thought it would take us a couple of years to catch Liverpool and City. It's just that first half performance. I don't think that's acceptable. And yeah, I know we've got a lot of reasons to excuse it, but we've still got a lot of money on that pitch. A lot of good footballers who should be able to put a better shift in than that in the first half. But I'm not getting too downhearted. At the end of the day, we are third in the league. Even if Arsenal win their game in hand, it'll still be 6 points behind us. And you know what? We are going to get better. I think come January, when we've got a full complement of players available to us, hopefully, Chilwell back, it's sounding like that's going to be January, which will be great. All the forwards back, and hopefully this COVID nonsense way behind us. Apparently none of them are ill. It's this Omicron, which is more like the common cold apparently. But Man United get their game called off and we don't. So, right, that's all from me today. Sorry folks, sorry it can't be more upbeat. We are going to have a good end to season. We are going to put all the wrongs right. And you know what? I still love that club, and I'm sure you do too. Please subscribe to the channel. and throw me a like. Thanks a lot, folks. Up to Chelsea.